Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to my industry chat, which is now what I'm doing on Thursdays. And Kelly Fridline, our virtual design mentor, has more exciting stuff for us today. So, welcome, Kelly.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I can't believe it's Thursday. This week went so fast.
I'm okay with that. Sending your kid to daycare or school when he's 18 months old after being quarantined for most of his life means that like every other week at least he's getting sick to some capacity.
Oh,
So he was out on Tuesday, on Monday and Tuesday, and I'm just kind of like, okay, you need to go back to school. So
I remember as soon as my youngest was had open heart surgery when he was born. You know that, right? And the minute he was out of quarantine, I'm like, school,
yeah,
like time to go to school because it was so draining. So yes, as mothers, it's hard to juggle everything, but you do it, and you do it quite well, even though you probably don't always feel like you do.
yeah. Well, it takes a village, that's
It
for sure.
does take
So
a village. So, all right, let's talk today to the people. Well, I want to say one, if you currently use Chief Architect, this absolutely has to be a video that you watch. If you don't currently use Chief Architect, watch it anyway, because when you see how Chief Architect can change the way you present your designs to your clients, it helps you make more money and sell nicer product and sell more sophisticated designs, right?
right. And I mean, again, we've said it before. There are plenty other softwares. I'm not going to say that the other ones aren't great, but very specifically, my business is very much aimed towards chief architect, at least the Kelly Fridline design side of things. And that's what the hole we're filling in Virtual Design Mentor is. What are some of the things that I found are missing for interior designers within the chief architect corner, right, of the BIM world? And so what we're talking about are some of the things that we are building and working on at Virtual Design Mentor, and that includes templates. And when I say templates, I'm talking about plan templates and layout templates. Anybody who has been following me or knows my style of construction drawings and documents knows that I am a very graphics heavy designer. That means that graphic standards are very, very important to me. I worked for an architecture firm that the standards were super central. We would spend an insane amount of time just making sure that the construction drawings looked like as much a piece of art as the architecture would when it was finished. And that's to me, having a beautiful presentation, even down to your construction documents, really sells your work that much more, and it justifies to your clients why they're paying more. I've had it where I've sent PDFs over, or I've helped my own clients with my drawings and sent it to contractors, and those same contractors, I think this was 5 years ago, so I wasn't even in my 30s yet, and when I sent these plans over to them, they sat down with a contractor who was putting a proposal together for their addition. The guy thought I was in my 40s or 50s based off of the graphic standards.
Wow.
Yeah. He thought
Wow.
that. So and he hadn't met me, he hadn't talked to me on the phone. That was just his initial impression of myself and my professional capabilities based off of my graphics.
Well, that's why when we first started talking, right, you were doing design work and we were working on growing your design business. But right, I noticed early on how meticulous and talented you were in that side. And I'm like, so many people need to learn this to be able to enhance their businesses to the next level, right? And feel better about charging what they charge, right? Because often I hear from designers like, can I really charge this much? I'm like, yes, you can, is the first
Mhm.
answer usually. And I mean, they're not saying, can I charge $500 an hour? They're asking pretty reasonable. But then I say, but let's see how we can up level your service to the client so that you feel better also about what you're charging. Like you feel more professional. And every single designer should be, every single profession, honestly, should be doing continuing education and
Right.
loading up their arsenal of their talent. Keep growing. You can always grow in your talent. for your market. And this is one way they can do it, by getting chief architect, learning chief architect, and then you really provide a tremendous amount of value that's going to save them time and money moving forward in using chief architect and other programs as well. But today we're talking specifically about this one.
Exactly. Right. So the way that I teach it too, and these templates are a little bit different than some of the built-in things that are available for chief architect. And I explain that to designers, but specifically the templates. So these layout and plan templates are.
Let me show the screen while you're sharing this information. Let me make sure.
These are set up where you have the option to, you can either purchase them a la carte. So there's a 22 by 34 construction drawing layout. So if you click on the templates right there, Nancy, where it says templates, you can either get it so that it works with home designer or chief architect. So it does make a difference which one you purchase, the chief, because the difference is that home designer, you can't do multi-page spreads. So I had to format it specifically so that you could edit it per page or per sheet. Chief architect, it's got everything built in. And I actually have markers in the template telling you what to do and how to do it.
So just let's pick one, right? This layout template, $57.
Right. So if you do the 22 by 34. Okay. So this one that you just clicked on is a schematic. It's a really simple. So if you scroll down a little bit, so this is how it's set up. So it's literally, hey, I just want to show my conceptual designs, but have something professional. This puts it together so you can send it right over, and all you have to do is load your logo on there. And if you maybe want to edit the fonts so that they work within your company font standards, this is all set up for you. The other one is the CD template. So if you scroll down, you can actually see them there. Yep. So if you go to the CD layout, and if you scroll down, you'll be able to see what that looks like. So within this, you have the ability, so you have the title block. I've put everything. It's called metadata in Chief Architect, and this is me totally nerding out. But within that, all you have to do is fill some information out, and it automatically updates it for you. Additionally, what you see on the left-hand side that looks like a chart, those are all things like I've built your elevation markers, I've built your title page call outs, I've built elevation markers, everything like that, so that it's not a question. All the graphics are already built, all of the fonts are already built in for you, everything's to scale. And then there's also a plan template which doesn't have a picture associated with it because there isn't really anything to see. But it has all of my defaults, all of the fonts and everything, so that when you send your drawings over, everything is to scale. It has all of my line weights that I use, all of the colors.
So how much time does this save somebody, in your estimation, if they had to build these 3 templates that we just showed everyone?
Most designers don't do it. Most designers will actually pay for one-on-ones with me, or they'll buy the course, and then it's still something that they have a hard time with, right? Because we can set all those defaults up, but the concept is still so, I wouldn't say advanced. It's just kind of that back end sort of stuff where if graphics aren't even in your mindset to begin with, like you haven't been trained to see those graphics, they're not going to be something that you think about. Versus this, you don't even have to think about it. You just install it as a template, and every time you open it up moving forward, all of those standards are built in for you.
So this is amazing. Okay, so every time it's now in their chief architect, where their company information's on the right, it looks professional on the left, and plug this in once they
put it in there, they just tell it that it's a template, and every time that they want to have a layout, if they want it to be the construction documents one, it'll pop right up, and then they just edit it per project.
Okay. But we also wanted to show, there was another,
a 3D model. So if you go to where it says shop at the top, 3D
models.
So the other thing that we've been working on, I have the amazingly talented Sonia Capasso and Jody Best, and they are 3D modelers, and they have assisted with starting 3D modeling catalogs for Chief Architect. So this includes, right now we have our first lighting collection, which is a series of sconces. They're a little bit more contemporary. I've gone in every single one. I have formatted specific to Chief Architect. I've made sure that the materials, the light sources, this was rendered in Chief Architect. So it interacts like sconces, it has light fixtures, everything like that are built in, and it's available for home designer users. So, which is really big because home designer is extremely limited.
So wait a minute. These are renderings, they're not photographs?
Right. So if you scroll down, you'll see a bigger image. Yeah, this is a ray trace rendering in Chief Architect.
This is amazing. Look at the shadows, everything, right? So in other words, when you put this, you've modeled, someone in your organization has modeled this. They can buy this whole package to download to their chief architect so they can use these in their presentations to their
Exactly.
company.
It's literally a drag and drop. They download it and they drag it into their Chief Architect. It's immediately installed and it knows it's a sconce. So you plop it in there and those sconces immediately show up. You do interior elevations. They view on the interior elevations. All the materials are already set. So it's
How
all
did you
ready to
pick
go.
these particular light fixtures, these sconces?
Well, so these were built by Sonia,
Mm-hmm.
and she's actually got quite a few. And these were just a series. I started formatting sconces, and I was like, these all kind of go together. So we're gonna have this be our intro collection, which we called the Sophie Indoor Sconce Collection, and we're also now working on pendants and chandeliers.
So once you have this collection, you have it forever. You buy it, you
Have it
download
forever.
it to your chief architect. It's there forever for you to use to show examples of what sconces could look like in somebody's home and all these different collections. English Arm Upholstery. Can I look at that one?
Yep.
I don't know what an English Arm Upholstery is because I'm not a designer. I'm a business coach.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh,
Yeah. So, and these all interact. They all know we've set up the sizing so that when they pull, all the textures are set up. So when you put in your patterns or your fabric, it actually holds together.
so the pattern will show up on the sofa.
Yep, and it knows that it's a piece of furniture. So Jody did an amazing job with these. We also have a whole sectional catalog, which is severely lacking within the chief architect options. So the sectional catalog, which is it says beta intro sectional catalog. We're still working on a few little kinks with this, but you would get the update. So if you could scroll up, you see next to where it says kickoff to summer on the right hand side. There you go. So within this, I'm pretty sure it's got 56 models within that.
Oh, wow.
And so you get it's English arm, track arm, and roll arm. So they are partnered with the intro upholstery collection. So instead of just being sofas and love seats, these are actual sectional pieces. So that it includes each of that. You can either get one collection, which would be any of those options. And within that, you have, I think it's 7 pieces, which includes a corner piece. And then I've also built 3 different blocked models. So I've taken the a la carte, so separate pieces. So you've got like the corner piece, and then you've got a 1 cushion back, and then you've got a 2 cushion back with the arm and a 2 cushion without an arm, and you have a chaise. All those pieces that are usually not available to explode in Chief Architect and Home Designer are now available.
Nice.
And they're footed and a skirted option per arm selection. And so if you were to buy the full bundle collection, I think it's over 56 models.
This is such a no-brainer. If when I'm coaching designers to grow their business, many times we're getting to a stage where your business is on fire, you're bringing in so much business, now you're getting new problems, right? I don't have enough time is the biggest is the biggest sentence I hear every single day, right? I don't have enough time. If you're a designer using Chief Architect and you decide once every quarter, I'm going to buy one new bundle, right? I'm going to take the profit from one job, only a piece of the profit, honestly, because if you're using the business model I teach, you're making way more than this.
Right.
So you're taking every single, let's say, job over a certain dollar amount. You're like, I'm going to buy one more bundle. This is going to save you over time. You can load up your Chief Architect furniture library where it's saving you so much time rendering in the future.
Well, not only that, the models look professional. One of the big complaints that interior designers have with Chief Architect is that their 3D models are super cheesy looking, right? They're just very boxed. They're not very organic looking. They just don't feel like the typical models that interior designers use. So that's where we came up with these upholstery collections, because they're just the 3 primary arm selections that you're going to go for. And then we're always going to be adding more from there. Additionally, we also have an outdoor collection that's available, which is that kickoff to summer. It went with a webinar that we did at the beginning of the summer, and it includes a few forehand pieces and those sorts of things. We don't actually call them forehand and whatnot, just because, you know, legal purposes, but yeah. But I think most designers, if they were to look through it, they would be able to recognize the different pieces. So what you're seeing are models that are rendered by Sonia Capasso, and these are the models that are part of the collection.
So do people okay, I'm going to ask a stupid question, but I think it's applicable, maybe. So I buy this collection. I use these renderings to show a client what their backyard could look like. But now these chairs are no longer available. What happens?
You can either use it still for conceptual purposes, but
okay, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
You're giving them that first conceptual design, or you're saying this is the actual chair, but rather than render that chair from scratch, maybe in the future, if these were close, you could put them in just to show them spacing and the feeling of what the space is going to look like.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. As we know, the things are always changing. So
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And that's, I think, the hardest part. But to me, if you load up your library with all different shapes and sizes of furnitures and options, you can certainly do that first conceptual design, and then you can get more specific with them if you need to. This is unbelievable. Like, so how many shapes sofas just like this? It's like there's a ton, and they could use this over and over and over again.
And the truth is too, a lot of, when we say $57, that's actually a really good deal, because if you were to go to Turbo Squid or any of these other companies that have 3D models, there are now a couple that are, potentially free, but the models are just not as good, and they're not formatted in Chief Architect. They're not a plug and play. So you still have to drag and drop. If you have Home Designer and you're bringing light fixtures in, you can't actually assign the lights directly to the model. So you don't really have any control over how it looks with that particular model for your renderings, versus all of these, again, it is formatted for Chief Architect. So if you want to do a furniture schedule, if you want to do a lighting schedule, Chief Architect knows it's lighting. It will automatically add it to your lighting schedule in Chief Architect.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So you're going to continue to come out with these collections that people can enhance their Chief Architect library continuously.
Yep, and we're actually talking about, I'm a huge subscription type person, so I'm part of like FabFitFun and Fabletics, and we're talking about the potential of doing a monthly subscription service that kind of goes with what's going on that month, whether it's fall or summer or anything like that, and doing just where you get, for a certain amount of money, you get a few models sent to you to download into your library that are part of a collection that's about to come out. So you can decide to either purchase the rest of the collection, or you can just work with the ones that we send you. So if anyone is interested in learning more about that as we put that together, just make sure to subscribe on our website, because that would be how you would find out.
Okay, and then when we hang up from this live, I have a business idea just came into my head for you, which you know is what I do, right? It's like, oh, I just thought of a great idea, and I'm going to hand it to you because it's not my specialty. So I love what you're doing. You know what? I've taught everyone like, and I'm known for that. You know, niche is rich and broad is broke. The New York way of saying niche, and you have found your niche and really are diving into it. So anyone who's using Chief Architect, you need to be associated with Kelly and her virtual design mentor program and her products, because it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving, right? Because you just keep growing. And
well, it's interesting too, because like from the very start, you helped me niche down into this, and then at the same time, I remember when I first started reading Luann Nagara's first book. And I think it was like in her intro or at the very opening where she said, you know, only add or do things to your business that are going to help it. Don't deviate outside of your scope. So if you're, you know, if like, I think she said, you know, she does window fixtures, right? So she said, I'm not going to turn around and start offering, you know, bench cushions because that is not associated with my business.
right.
So that has been in the back of my mind the whole time I've been doing this as well. Is it, does this help my business and my goals? And does this help my end user at the same time?
Exactly. Exactly. And not to get distracted by shiny objects and all these other great ideas. That's, you are very talented, right? Everyone who's watching, you've got multiple talents. So it's really hard to stay focused on one talent and then expand on that to serve you and others. But
Right.
that's what you're doing. And I love it. I think that as designers, they have to always up their game every year, up
Right.
your game, right? So they come to me to learn how to make money and the business side of it, and that's all great. But at the same time, what are you doing to hone your skill and present yourself as a designer in a more professional way, so you can up your rates and feel better about um, what you present to
Exactly.
clients and how you serve them. So this is absolutely gets that to a whole nother level of professionalism.
Exactly. Yep.
Without a doubt. So, all right. Anything else they need to know? Because they need to go, and I put the link in the description. I think it's above us, virtualdesignmentor.com. I think I put the link right to the shop so they could see what we were talking about here, but they can bounce around your whole website. And you have a Facebook group also, correct?
We do. It's called Presentation by Design. And a lot of the questions are Chief Architect, but all of the mentors from the Virtual Design Mentor are also administrators for the group. And we have, I think, close to 1,400 members in the group right now. And it's all centered on presentations and software. And so if you have any specific questions related to any software you're using, we're here and we're ready to help you. And it's specific to the interior design industry.
Yeah, no, we even, I asked you the other day, like, do you train people on Dubsado? And yes, you have someone who can train you on
Yep.
Dubsado, and you have a
No, I'm
designer.
not the one who trains Dubsado. No, I have Hannah Bowyer. She is, when I say somebody who's niching into something specific, this woman is killing it. And so she offers one-to-one training through Virtual Design Mentor for Dubsado. And then she also has the option where if you wanted to just hire her directly, she will help you get set up with all of your workflows there too. But again, like we say, learn it so that you can do it yourself, and then if you need to hire it out to get all the basics down, that's 100% the best way to do it too.
Absolutely. That's what I always say. Learn it first, a little bit, at least enough for you to be able to hire someone and know that they're doing what they need to do,
Yeah,
right?
we're always bringing people on too. We just brought on an Australian designer. Her name is Maria, and she is very specialized in using a software called Enscape. So she teaches designers who use SketchUp how to use the Enscape plugin, and her renderings are insane. So she's going to have a course through us, and then she also teaches one-on-one.
Amazing. Amazing. I love what you're building here. It is the one-stop shop for everything related to presentations, Virtual Design Mentor is where you need to go. I love it. All right. Anything else that we didn't hit on?
No. I hope
Okay.
everyone has a great weekend.
I
Well,
know. It's
when it
almost the
starts.
weekend.
I
It's
know.
almost the weekend. I look at you like weekend.
The week
So,
wasn't long enough, but yeah. So
yeah, this week did go fast, but yes, I'm looking forward to the weekend also. So, all right. So, if you want to up your presentation game as an interior designer to your clients, reach out to Kelly at thevirtualdesignmentor.com. Link is above. Don't miss this opportunity because, once I get a hold of Kelly more, I'm going to be like, your prices are too low. So, take this opportunity now to grab what she's got as you're building it, right? It's amazing. And to let you know what additional things people want and need because you're in the process of growing and satisfying those needs.
exactly. Yep.
Okay. All right. Talk to everyone soon. Kelly, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a sponsor of this group, the Interior Design Business Forum. We so appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.